Nerlin is an old single man who works as a train driver near a small town. Every morning, he dresses up and gets ready to drive his cargo train around the city. Beside him, there are a few other workers at the train station too. There's also a young woman named Nazrin who serves as a train switch operator. She really enjoys her job and often plays pranks on her coworkers. Nerlin never directly talked to her as he is an introvert who is solely dedicated to his work. The train also passes through a small town once per day at the same time. Due to shortage of space, people usually sit on the tracks and hang their clothes around them. When it is time for the arrival of the train, an orphan boy is responsible for alerting the people using his whistle. Besides that, he works in a cafe and does other small chores. In return, he gets enough food to survive and a doghouse to sleep at night. Whenever Nerlin passes through the town, he drives extra carefully and keeps pressing the horn so no one gets injured by his train. Despite these safety measures, people often forget to remove their belongings from the tracks and they get stuck on the train. They are usually clothes that were spread out to dry. Nerlin is really kind and he never throws away any belongings. After cleaning his train, he returns to the town to return the clothes he found. Then he gets back to his staff quarters and goes to sleep. Nerlin has been serving for years, and it is his time to retire. The new driver is already being appointed, and Nerlin has to guide him for the next few days. The new driver is a little immature and works recklessly. Nerlin does not say a word, but his expressions clearly shows how disgusted he is. The new driver is also noisy and plays his trumpet whenever he wants. Therefore, Nerlin already starts staying at his own house in the outskirts of the town. As he is going to retire in just a few days, Nerlin is getting worried about what he is going to do after that. He finally decides to respond to the gorgeous lady who often hits on him while he's passing by. The woman gets really happy and looks forward to getting closer to him. The next day, Nerlin drives his train through the town but notices a little girl who is playing on the tracks. Nerlin continuously hits the horns and eventually the girl's mother saves her. Nerlin takes a deep breath and gets back to the station. While cleaning the train, he finds the little girl's ball. He fixes the ball and returns it to the girl the next day. While driving back home in the evening, he unintentionally peeks into a window and sees a woman wearing a blue laced bra. This makes Nerlin realize that he should also get married now. He buys some expensive gifts and visits the house of the girl who liked him. She is really happy to see him and wants to get married too, but her family is worried about the age gap. The girl's mother brings 2 heavy weights and puts them in front of Nerlin. She asks him to pick them up, but he fails to do that. Nerlin realizes that he is now too old to get married, so he leaves quietly. The next day is his last day at work. He drives through the town as usual, and this time a blue-laced bra gets stuck on his train. Nerlin feels it is too awkward to look for the bra's owner, so he prefers throwing it away. The new driver picks up the bra and wears it to tease Nerlin, but instead of laughing, Nerlin gets angry and throws the bra again in the garbage. Later that night, he regrets doing that and puts the bra to his locker. The next day, he carries the bra in his bag and wanders around the town. He reaches the house of the woman he suspects as the owner. Suddenly, the train passes by and her clothes are hanging over the track. Nerlin picks them up and gives them to the woman. He also helps her carry the groceries inside. After sitting down for tea, Nerlin finally takes out the blue bra and gives it to the woman. The woman says it isn't her, but Nerlin believes that. It should fit her perfectly. To help him understand, the woman tries on the bra and it's really loose on her. The one she was wearing before was a padded bra, which confused Nerlin about her size. Nerlin takes back the bra and leaves. The next day, the railway head honors Nerlin's services by giving him a medal. Beside it, he also gives him a fishing kit so Nerlin can have a hobby and does not get bored. The next day, Nerlin dresses up and reaches the lake with his fishing kit. Several other old men and kids are there too. Nerlin grabs a log to sit down, but a naughty boy throws his log in the water. Nerlin realizes that this hobby is not for him as he does not like interacting much with people. He returns home and remembers about the bra. Finding his owner can keep him busy for a few days, so washes the bra really well, and the next day he takes the train to reach the town. He rents a room so he can easily search the town every day. Nerlin notices the orphan boy sleeping in the doghouse and feels pity for him. The next day, he dresses up nicely so he does not look like a creep. Then he grabs the bra to search for the owners. He goes from door to door, but either it is opened by a man or the women shut the door on his face. Eventually, Nerlin finds a woman who agrees to try on the bra, but clearly it is not her size. She even uses safety pins to put on the bra, but Nerlin catches her and takes back the bra. It is damaged by the safety pins, so he fixes it by himself. The next day, he sits on the balcony and wonders what to do next to find the owner. He notices the orphan boy serving tea to the customers. He accidentally spills the tea and gets beaten by the customer. The poor boy starts crying and hides in the doghouse. A kind woman passes by and gives him some food to eat, but it is not enough for a growing boy like him. Nerlin wants to do something for him, but being an introvert, he feels a little reluctant. He gets ready to do his job, which is finding the owner of the bra. He peeks inside a house and notices the mother of 3 kids. Before Nerlin can guess her size, she notices him and gets outside to inquire. Nerlin shows her the blue bra, but unexpectedly, the woman gets excited to see it. He invites him inside and asks him to wait for a while. She puts away her kids and starts getting ready. Actually, the blue bra reminds the woman of her fantasy of being a blue goddess. She tries her best to copy her and shows herself to Nerlin. She even turns on the music and gives a complete performance. He isn't interested in seeing all the nonsense and checks if the bra fits her or not. Unfortunately, it does not, so Nerlin takes it away and continues his search. The next house he notices belongs to a woman who has a small baby that keeps on crying. She is too busy with house chores and cannot give attention to the baby. Nerlin enters her house and picks up the baby. The baby starts playing with him and stops crying. In exchange for this favor, Nerlin asks the woman to try on the blue bra. But before she can do that, her husband returns home and kicks Nerlin out of the house. Luckily, he managed to get back the bra. He wanders around the town and finds another house. When he knocks at the door, a woman comes out, but she gets angry on seeing the bra and shuts the door on Nerlin's face. Poor old man sits in a corner and lights a cigarette to get over his failed attempts. A sock seller passes by there and knocks at the house of the same woman, but she happily lets him inside. This gives Nerlin a great idea. He goes to a lingerie shop and buys a few bras. Then he puts them on a bicycle and moves around the town pretending to be a seller. Firstly, he goes to the same house where he was rejected. This time he gets welcomed and even manages to sell a bra, but not the blue one. For the rest of the day, he keeps wandering and sells several bras, but cannot find the owner of the blue-laced bra. As the evening sets in, Nerlin meets a creepy woman dressed in black. She calls him inside the house and serves him some biscuits. Nerlin insists on making her try the blue bra, but the woman has different intentions. Her husband has died recently, which affected her mental health. She keeps looking for another man and jumps on any man in sight. Nerlin releases the dagger and immediately runs away. After getting a little far, he sits down to rest. An old woman in a wheelchair notices Nerlin and invites him to her house, as she wants to buy a bra for her teenage daughter. She asks Nerlin to measure her daughter's size, but the naughty girl keeps teasing him. She keeps grabbing one bra after another, while her mother keeps laughing at Nerlin's helplessness. He gets out of there and decides to try one more house before returning back, but the woman doesn't let him in. He goes back to the hotel and puts the bra on a pair of pomegranates, as there's no more hope in finding the owner. Suddenly, the orphan boy calls him outside. He noticed Nerlin all day and wanted to help him. They carry a ladder to the house where Nerlin was rejected. He climbs into that woman's room and tries checking the bra on her. Unfortunately, her husband wakes up and reaches her room. Nerlin hardly saves his life and runs away. The next morning, Nerlin washes the bra and puts it outside to dry. It flies away in the air, but luckily, the orphan boy catches it. He also has a plan to find the owner. A team of doctors have set up a camp in the town to run tests for breast cancer. The boy mixes something in the doctor's tea, which makes them sick, and he helps them rest in the hotel. In the meantime, Nurlen puts on the lab coat and pretends to be the doctor. He puts the blue bra on the breast scanner and waits for the women. Soon they reach there for checkup, and Nurlen uses this chance to check if the bra fits them or not. Unfortunately, none of them is the owner. Nurlen walks towards his house in disappointment, but gets chased by the men who assume that he is flirting with their wives. They beat them mercilessly, but that doesn't satisfy their evil hearts, so they tie him up on the train track. Meanwhile, the orphan boy has lost his job and has nowhere to go. Suddenly, the signal turns green as it's time for the train to arrive. Though it's not his job anymore, the little boy believes he should still warn the people on the track. He runs around while whistling and reaches where Nurlen is tied up. He is unconscious and can't help himself. The train can reach any second, so the boy grabs a saw to cut the chains. Nurlen gains consciousness, but before he can get up, the train reaches him. It passed over him, but thankfully he fit in the gap and survived. The orphan boy has brought some good news. He takes Nurlen to a house in which the paired underwear of the blue bra is hanging. The boy asks if Nurlen wants to call the owner, but Nurlen can't take it anymore. He hangs the bra near the underwear and leaves. It actually belongs to Nasrin. She is usually at the train station working, so Nurlen never got to ask her about the bra. Nurlen doesn't care about it anyway, as he has finally found a purpose of living. It's the little boy who is not going to judge him or leave his side.